Hello everybody, welcome back to my vlog Arlene Explorers. I hope you guys are doing well. I am doing fabulous. So in today's vlog, it's a very special vlog for me. I have a guest speaker, Mr. Prateek, who works in one of the prestigious organizations in the United States. He is working at this organization as a senior product manager technical and has agreed to spare some time to come on to my vlog and share his learning, his experience, his ups, his lows, everything that he has experienced while he's been working with this organization. So without wasting too much of time, let's just pull in Pratik onto the call and explore what he has explored and take all the learnings from him, and let's try and invest those in our job roles today.
Perfect. So thank you, Prateek, for giving me this time of yours. So a very warm welcome to my channel, Arlene Explorers. I'm super happy to have you on board and would be really excited if you share your project management experience so far of, I would say, product management experience. So I would want you to speak about yourself first and how did you start this journey? And I'm on purpose not telling where do you work because that is going to be a surprise for the audience. So I would let it go with your flow.
Sure, cool. Thank you, Arlene, for welcoming me to your platform. I'm Pratik. I graduated from National Institutes of Technology in India with my bachelor's degree. Right after that, I came to the US to do my master's in data science. And then is when I joined Ford Motor Company as a data scientist.
Sure.
Now, when I was pursuing my data science career at Ford, I saw an opportunity around a product manager's role, which was currently not being fulfilled. So my break into product management was just the need based. So I saw the need and I started doing the job proactively. After a few months, I think people around me kind of realized that, okay, I think Pratik is already doing the job, might as well fulfill the role. So there is where I became the technical product manager.
Sure.
Right after that, I got the taste of the particular job role, right? So it was pretty interesting, and I started working more around that. To get more, I would say, business sense and knowledge, I then went on to pursue my MBA from University of Michigan. And then right after that, I joined a startup as a product manager. So this was a high growth startup in the Detroit metro area. We are trying to solve the problem of small and medium businesses, marketing managers, of their marketing dollars spent in the ROI. After doing that, then I moved to the current company, which we are currently keeping at a secret, and I'll let you know.
Sure. Perfect. So do you want me to reveal the company or do you want to do that?
I can do that. So
Please.
right after my startup, I joined Amazon as a senior product manager technical and in the defect elimination team. So this is the customer service arm of Amazon. What we do is that we try to reduce the negative experiences that people have with our products.
Right. So being a loyal customer of Amazon, we definitely see good things happening there. Perfect. So since you are working with Amazon and you are working in a product space, right? So how do you think does Amazon define product management? Because every company has different definitions and different flavors to these kind of roles. So how do you think Amazon does that?
Yeah. So I think you're rightly pointing out that there is no current agreed upon definition of product management. And that is the reason because it is currently nebulous to understand what actually product management is. Therefore, every other company is trying to understand how they would want to approach it. I can share how Amazon approaches it.
Sure.
Amazon approach to product management is very straight and simple. That is, a product manager's job is to act as a confidant of the customers on behalf of them inside the company. So anytime that a product manager is involved in a product, our product manager's role is to make sure that is it the right thing for the customer and then work our way backwards. So anytime in a meeting that I am in, I'm going to like, hey, how does this impact customer? Is it really moving the needle for them? What exactly are we doing for them? Will it impact them negatively, positively? So those are the questions that are typically raised by me. And then I try to help the team work my way backward, saying that if that is the issue, then how do we track it back to the internal operations? Then how we track it back to the current project that we have, and then how do we define the roadmap from that? So this, on a nutshell, is what Amazon tries to do for product management roles.
So it's user biased, basically. The product managers are user biased.
Yes.
Perfect. That I feel is the most important thing, because a lot of times I feel, and sometimes even I was in that situation where we tend to become development biased rather than user biased. But definitely, yes, completely agree to it. So, since you are in such a position where I'm pretty sure you must be interviewing a lot of candidates, right? So, when you're interviewing certain candidate for a product management role or associate product manager role, what are the main qualities that you're looking out there for?
Yeah. I think it is a good segue from the last question that we had, because what I'll tell you like two aspects of it. One, what we look at Amazon for, and the other for the other roles that I've hired people for in product
Sure.
roles. So starting with the other aspects, for any product management role, first of all, I want to like break down this. I would say assumption that people have that you need to have a product experience for that. You do not. Secondly, any other experience that you have is equally linked to a product management role, and it is beneficial to it because you come from different places, different faces. That what it does is that it helps you see a same problem from different lens, and that is necessary in a product manager role. You should be able to see a particular problem from your standpoint, from a stakeholder standpoint, from a customer standpoint. So that is why it is very necessary. Now, the things that I look for in people usually is, can you own a product that you are working for? For example, ownership means anything that goes wrong with that product or right with that product or the roadmap of it, current development timelines, you should be able to give an intelligent answer to it. You may not have all the answers that on your fingertips, but you should be able to speak intelligently about it. Secondly, I believe you should be able to break down complex problems into simpler solutions and then be able to explain those simple solutions across your team. This is specifically a product manager's job because everyone is trying to do their own part. For example, a tech team will be working on their parts, the science team would be working on their own part, and it is so deep that they are already having a lot of challenges in their own field. It is a product manager's job to make them come together, see what needs to be delivered, and then understand and get them aligned on one particular point. Now, switching my gears toward the Amazon piece. So at Amazon, we have 14 leadership principles. Now there are 16. And we use heavily to judge anyone at Amazon to hire. And that go from business analyst to a customer service analyst to a product manager to VP. These things stay the same. What it does is that it makes them all aligned towards a common way of thinking. So when you have a common way of thinking, you can just argue that, okay, is this right or is that right? And then you can understand, like, based on that thinking, we are gonna all agree to this. So we can take decisions faster. Now, drilling down a little bit further, at Amazon, what we purposely look at is our first and the most important leadership principle, that is customer obsession. Customer comes first. If any problem you're able to take a look at from a customer perspective, that is the most important thing. Secondly, the ownership piece, like, can you own a product? Can you be answerable to all the questions left, right, and center about that product? The third piece comes in, like, can you deep dive? For example, if asked, like, hey, can you root cause a particular problem? You should be able to get all hands on deck and can jump into the problem and solve it. And the third piece is earning trust. Can you earn trust with your stakeholders, with your customers, with your team? Earning trust is a very important skill because product management is more of you need to herd the cats towards a common goal. And herding requires why would a science manager or a tech manager or a VP or your own team would agree to you because you show them data, because you tell them this is the right thing to do. You tell them why it is important. All
Right.
these things comes as a part of earning trust with them, and that is how we hire people at Amazon.
Right. So basically, you look into, you judge people based upon these principles that we just spoke about.
Yeah,
And that means you put them in a situation and you check on how would they react to these situations based on, and whether they are basically abiding by those principles.
yeah. Usually, what we try to do is that we try to keep it more simple so
Right.
that we can at least understand what exactly they think about. So we
Correct.
don't give them situations. We just tell them that, hey, if this is a particular way that you have to do something, how
Mhm.
would you approach it? So you
Right.
put yourself in a situation and then you try to answer them, usually in a star format, which is pretty familiar, like
Yep.
situation, task, action, and results
Right.
using this framework. And then there is where we try to identify like nooks and corners, like, is this person taking the ownership? Is this person biased for action? Is this person earning the trust?
Right. So just a follow-up question on that, that do you think for somebody who wants to apply for product manager roles at Amazon really needs to be technically very strong, or is that just a good to have thing?
Mhm. So I think this question has like two aspects to it. One is what are the type of roles that Amazon offers, and then based on those roles, what are the requirements? So let me break it down to you in these two aspects. At Amazon, there are typically three types of product roles we'll see. One is this product manager, one is product manager technical, and the third is called as TPM or program managers. Now, often people conflate program and product together, but I'll try to bifurcate them.
Sure.
So, a product manager role, which is without the technical aspect of it, you don't need a technical degree,
Sure.
because what you are basically expected to do is understand the customer, understand the business, what are the policies and the processes that needs to change, and then communicate it to your team.
Sure.
Product manager technical, that is the second aspect, is where the technical aspect is needed. And the reason being, this is a particular customer issue or a business problem that you are trying to solve via technology. So you need to have some experience around, you want to be able to talk intelligently about APIs, backend, front end, how they integrate, because this is fairly technical product that you are building.
Right.
The third piece is the TPM or the program managers, the technical program managers or program managers. Their job is basically to communicate between stakeholders to make sure that they can act as a POC for a particular stakeholder. They can understand both sides of the stories and communicate properly. So these are like the glues between different machines which are working across. So apart from these, so answering your question now, so the requirement would depend on if you are looking for a product manager role, a product manager technical role.
Right. So usually it's like, a product manager is basically interacting with various stakeholders and then getting on the requirements and then helping the dev team, right? So what I feel, in my opinion, is as long as you're able to communicate what dev team needs to do technically, I
Mhm.
feel that should suffice. But having knowledge more than that is definitely an add-on, because that will help you communicate with the dev team much more better way.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
My intention was not to say that for the PMTs, the product
No,
manager
no, no.
technical.
I agree, because you know what? A lot of times, even while I was giving interviews, right? Because I love giving interviews just to know where do I stand at that point in time. So I give interviews every now and then just to know how well am I equipped with the latest technologies in the market and what do I need to learn. So I realize that some companies, they say product manager and they don't expect us to know technical knowledge, but some companies very specifically say product manager with, like you mentioned, with the knowledge of at least API, how does the data flow and all that stuff. So yes.
Yeah, yeah. And
Perfect.
these things can be learned actually. It is not something you need
Yes.
to have a degree on. You can do some Coursera videos and you can get it up to speed.
Correct.
So it is something that is not out of reach if you do not have the degree, but it always helps to make sure you have some background,
Yeah.
because when push comes to shove, you should be able to deliver. You should be able to talk to your dev teams. Because if you
Correct.
talk really far away from like, hey, this is what, and if you're like fuzzy in your arguments, you will immediately lose the trust of the dev team. And that is where the third thing come in, like earning the trust of your
Trust.
stakeholders. Dev team is
Correct.
also one of the stakeholders.
Yeah. And I feel the best is on-job experience. How much ever we learn, on-job experience is the
Yeah.
best thing.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, what do you think were some of the best practices that have been helping you throughout till date?
Uh, I think personally, the best experiences, or I would say the best practices, is I plan for not too far off or not too immediate. Somewhere around 3 to 5 years is what I expect, and why I anticipate that hey, I should be able to achieve this,
Right.
because this is close enough for me to plan it out. We are living in this world which is where the uncertainty is very high. You don't know
True.
which country you'll be in. You don't know what company you'll be in. You personally don't know where you personally stand. So a lot of things are changing. That's why too long of a plan may not just work out, because there are many unknown variables.
True.
Secondly, one of the best ways I've tried to learn and grow is having a side hustle. Side hustle in terms of what you want to learn. For example, if I want to learn product management, I will try to build my own product. I'll try to just talk to customers on my own, try to understand what their problem is, and then I'll logically think like, okay, if this is the issue, then what? How can I solve this issue? What are the things that I would need to solve this issue? If I have the team to solve this issue, how will I create the roadmap? So if these things are done on a side hustle on your own, you're actually learning on the job, as you said. So
Yeah.
this is like a fantastic way to like getting up to speed. Another thing which has really helped me out is actually focus. If you want to be focused and motivated for something you want to do, you need to be able to break out of it. My thing is to go and work out, run. In that way, I'm not thinking about anything. It is just letting my mind run through my thoughts. You just exhale, inhale. It adds a
Right.
lot of oxygen to your body, and then you're just thinking out loud. Am I doing something right? Am I doing something wrong? And you are not looking for answers. But suddenly, I've seen many times the ideas that come through, the solutions that come through while just letting my mind ramble has also immensely helped me. So these are the three things I would say has helped me as a best practices.
Absolutely. I mean, yes, a lot of times we are so much indulged in doing our job that I
Yeah.
think the break taking part actually helps you think better, and
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
true. So I take it like I shouldn't say this on call, but every 1 hour. But yeah, that is true because as product managers, like you mentioned, our main communication is the main key for us. We need to keep on interacting with every other stakeholder, or for that matter, anybody, and they become the stakeholder because they have an issue, potential issue. So I
Yes.
agree to it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That
And
even in that, right?
yeah,
You need to have a clear thought in your mind, because if you are confused, you will not be able to give a clear thought process to the stakeholders, and that
correct.
that kind of helps you clear the I would say garbage in your mind and make it more clear and concise.
Right. And also, what I feel is at times I'm in a situation where, I am not that technically aware of things. And if any stakeholder asks me, what I feel is stakeholders, they don't need that technicality. They just need it to be very simple so that they understand. But there
Mhm.
are some stakeholders who themselves are technically very strong, and then they expect you to talk technical. And do
Mhm.
you think in such situations it is okay to buy time, go back to the team, and then understand it, and then better explain it in a correct way rather than fumbling there?
Yes, I think that there is a whole book written in terms of how you manage stakeholders, and you're rightly
Yes.
pointing out like two types. One would be want to go more technical, the other won't.
Yeah.
For both of them, I think there is where being a product manager is not so easy as it may look, because you need to
Correct.
be so flexible that for the person who needs technical, you need to have the technical hat on. You need to explain them to the depth they want to go and
Yeah.
then satisfy them. The other aspect is person who is not technical, you can just go, hey, this is what I know, this is what I can want to share. So in these two aspects, right, you need to make yourself flexible for the stakeholders. And often if the stakeholders sees you doing that, because trust me, they talk among themselves too, like, hey, yeah, okay, uh, this person told me this, and then this person told me that too. So they actually start respecting you a lot more because they
Yes.
know that you're fitting yourselves to their needs. And there's something the stakeholder really likes.
That is correct. No, I absolutely agree to it because at the end of the day, if you're delivering what the stakeholder needs, plus they have confidence on you, they would rather come up to you with their problems
Mhm.
directly rather than just putting it in the backlog or whatever is the portal and then anybody picking it up.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's nice. So lastly, I just want to get your point of view, or what suggestions would you give to somebody who really want to enter into product management, have not really started, but is looking out to enter product management, or for that matter, people who are in the course of it, but right now are stuck.
Mhm. Okay.
What advice would you want to give them?
I think there are like multiple questions there. I'll try to break it down.
Sure.
The people who have never been into product management and they are trying to break into it.
Yeah.
The second is people are currently who have already tried and they are stuck. And the fourth piece, when you're already there, how do you grow?
Correct.
So, starting with the first one, right? People who have not been in product manager roles, but they want to be in product manager. I would say go back and try to understand why do you want to do this. And the reason why, if you know, this will help you motivate across the function. The reason is product manager role is sort of you have to drive the product. You have to drive the customer. You have to drive the product timelines. You even have to drive your stakeholders. And that drives takes a lot of motivation and passion. So if you know your why, that why do you want to jump into this, that motivation will help you do this easily. Or else you'll get into a place where like, why am I pushing all the time? So you don't want to be in this position. So answering your why. For the people you who have been into this role and kind of stuck, I think you might want to understand why you are stuck. Is it your are you not spending enough time, or are you not able to have in good mentors that can help you? Is that the current role not right for you? Because there are multiple kinds of product roles. It is front facing customer product roles. There are internal product managers. There are API specific product managers. There are program managers who shadow as product managers. Where are you exactly in that domain? And then try to understand, if this is my North Star, what are the things which are making me stuck, and then slowly remove them. Or you may have to just like, hey, I'm done with this job. I will jump into a real product manager job. Because trust me, there are a lot of companies which peddle program manager job as a product manager. And
Yeah.
you might want to ask them like what exactly the requirements are. Coming to the fourth one, where you exactly are currently an aspiring or already are a product manager, and how do you grow? Now, growing in a product manager role is a lot about your area of influence, how many products you're working on, how big of a customer problem you're solving, how complex a product is. So, anytime when you start feeling comfortable in your product role, trust me, you're not growing. You either need to jump to a different product or take on more influence over your customers. So, push the boundaries. As you push the boundaries, you will face challenges. And those are the challenges that will help you grow in that role. And product management is a very visible role. So when people see you do that, people recognize that, okay, that person is doing this, that person is doing that, just because the role is very visible. And that will, even they will come out and help you to grow in their role.
That is true. So, yes, a very valuable piece of advice that we first need to understand whether we are really comfortable doing what we are doing.
Yeah.
And if yes, you're right. I really agree to this point of yours that if you're comfortable as a product manager, then you're not doing something right. That is absolutely true. Uh, I just want to add on one advice to what you just mentioned, that it's also important that we interact with other product managers as well within the organizations, because a lot of times we might just go with our way of doing things, and just changing your way slightly or tweaking it may result in better outputs, is what I feel.
No, absolutely agree. Yeah. Anytime like you can connect with any other product managers, they may
Yes.
have faced the same problem that they are facing,
Yeah.
and they'll just let you know, like, hey, you might want to do this, and this, and boom, move ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
True that. Perfect. So this is what I had for you, and amazing advice. And definitely with your suggestion, I would try it, give a stab at Amazon for sure. But thank you, Pratik. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.